All right, all right, all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the King's Capital. Getting back into the groove. Going to keep doing these videos for y'all. If you find them to be educational or you find them to be helpful and you're trading during the week, give it a like. Please subscribe. Tell your friends. Let's make it a thing, y'all. Run it up. All right. So as always, guys, this is going to sound mundane, but we got to have systems behind what we do. For me, when I'm looking at the charts every week, I'm starting with DXY. I want to know what dollar's doing because largely I trade dollar pairs or things that are correlated or inversely correlated to the dollar. So this is my system that you see me do every week, week in, week out when I make these videos. Where do I start? Here we go, DXY. So to be fair, right now on DXY, we took out this liquidity. You know, I've said this in my video earlier this week, but we're kind of still just ranging right here. This is we had that pin bar, but then this was a nice close on this weekly, which tells me, okay, we could get a pullback with continuation at this point. I would love to see some relief before another rally because I do want to see this fair value gap right here filled in. We got an order block. Overall, this is a bearish, or sorry, this is bullish. This is something to be mindful of on the 12-month chart. We do have we pushed up beyond this, but there is kind of this liquidity above here. We have this kind of 12-month or yearly order block right there that did get rejected last month. That's kind of super large time frame, but it's just something to be mindful of as we scale in and see, okay, there's room to push up still. So that said, let's go down to our 3-day. Cool. Some might see this as a bit of a bull flag. I'm mostly interested in this daily, right? So price pushed up, came back down. We had this order block right here, right? This one, this candle that got tapped into. Strong bullish reaction, leaving us this displacement with the fair value gap, which price has now come and filled in and tapped into this order block. So this week, I want to see one of two things. I want to see price either push down and then continue. That would be a great scenario, and there's an argument for that because of the way some other charts kind of look. Sorry for the sniffles, guys. It's just that season. Just that season. The other one is we break down. We break this low, right? Here's our swing point. We break this low, come back and retest an order block or something like that, and continue on down to find that, wherever that ends up being, that larger retracement on the weekly, right? This guy right here, that's 50%, 61.8, which is this level right in here. So you're gonna get one of those two things coming into this week. So just be mindful of that. I'm not rushing into trades like straight off the bat. I want clarity. We're putting money on the line. So that said, let's move on, guys. So just to preface this was an absolutely horrible trading week for me. I put out a video last week outlining some trade ideas I was looking at. They literally played out perfectly, and I just couldn't get on the right side of a trade. Couldn't find the right entry. My timing was bad. Lost money this week. Just one of those weeks where you just want to give up. But when you've been at it this long, okay, literally every trader you've heard has had those weeks where they're just losing money. They don't know what's going wrong. They know the strategy works. And then when you look at it in hindsight, it's like, okay, it was me. I failed to pull a trigger on this, or I was a coward here and I should have bought and I didn't buy. And then it was just too late, or in my case also, that was one of the days where I just didn't pull the trigger and then price just didn't come back to me. Or, I pulled the trigger too early and then I got caught in that OPEX news that I failed. I just didn't look at the news ahead, so I didn't know that was coming, and that's my bad. So, anyways, it was one of those weeks for me, not going to lie. Full transparency, lost money this week. Not a good week. That said, we pick ourselves back up. We get back on, and we keep pressing on, guys. We don't quit. We're not quitters here. Okay, so we're looking at these two scenarios. Let's jump over to Euro USD real quick. There was some really nice, there were a few nice trades on this week. We did kind of tap into this order block right here, barely, if at all. The thing that's given me a potentially bullish argument, and that's really just a rally to sell again. Like, I think overall we're bearish on this. is that we tapped into a weekly order block here. Forgive me. So we tapped into this order block right here. And I do believe, let's see, do we got a 50% or anything like that? I don't have a fib pulled on here. Let's pull a fib. And let's see where this puts us. Boom. I mean, we're not quite at discount. And that's okay. We're not quite at discount. I would be interested to get down there, though, if we can push back down. We did get a weekly close over the tops of these candles. We had a nice pin bar. It did push down, and then we retraced, and we got a close right over this. So that tells me there's the potential to find some relief, even if it's just kind of up into one of these zones. I would love to get up here, for a few reasons. That would take us probably close to the 50% on this larger swing. Yeah, that would definitely get us into the 50% on this larger swing. We have a breaker block right here on a lower time frame. So if we could retrace and push down more, that is really what I'm eyeing. There's, you know, in the long term, the liquidity is down here, right? Yeah, we took out this liquidity. There's kind of some intermediary stuff right here, but the real liquidity is going to be down there. Long term, will we get there? How long it will take, I don't know. You know, maybe we don't get there, but that's really what I would like to see on this. Where am I? There's my Kirby. What's up, brah? Cool. So this is really where our liquidity is, right? It's in here. I mean, we're looking at a 3-day chart, guys. That's going to take forever to get to, if we get to it. More realistically, yeah, I mean, we got a fair value gap. So, man, there's arguments to go down. Oh, yeah, look, I already pulled that on a different time frame. It just wasn't showing up somewhere else. So, cool. So, Euro coming into this week, what are we looking at? We are still up against this daily kind of order block right here. We did reject it. It's tough, though, because we did take out this high right here. So, hypothetically, we do have a market structure shift right there, right? Or some would call it, maybe it's a change of character or something like that. We did break over that high. We did push down into this order block and do look like we're pressing on. We did get a close with this candle over these guys right here. This is kind of a high that got closed over, and we're continuing to press on. So we're just going to need to see if we reject this coming into the week, then we'll look for more downside, in which case we'll also see more upside. It's likely, if that's the case, that dollar is going to also break over this high and press on. So again, that's kind of the scenarios. You kind of have to play the if this, then this scenarios with trading. That's literally how I have all my things marked up. But if price doesn't react a particular way to a zone, then we need to change. We need to change plans, right? We need to plan it, but we need to have kind of two scenarios in mind. So that said, let's go down to the 4-hour. Yeah, so we're up against this 786. It's kind of our last point right here. So if we reject this and we start breaking down and we break below this right here. Oh my goodness, sorry. I told you, I'm just not used to the laptop. I don't love it. But if we start breaking down below this guy, I'll look for a sell coming up into an order block here. But I'm going to kind of wait on this. Yeah, see, this is kind of a liquidity point right here because we got this. And yes, there is this low right here. But this is all kind of just stabbing into this larger general zone. So I want to see a breakdown, a retrace. Otherwise, if we start breaking up over this high, ooh, that's a good zone right there. Yeah, who knows? Maybe we come back up and tap into this. There's a good little zone right here. We got this big liquidity void displacement right there. Order block sitting right there with a fair value gap. So we could just press in and then reject. That's what I actually would really like to see, that because I want to remain bearish. I want to keep looking for sells on Euro USD. All right, so that's kind of scenario one for me. I do have this other scenario where we come up, we have this fair value gap that's kind of starting with this line right here. Let me extend that out. That's an old line that's just been chilling there. So there's a thing called like engineering liquidity. So sometimes price likes to move kind of sideways. Engineer kind of the liquidity above these points, right? Right here is going to be stop losses, hypothetically, right? When we're looking for liquidity, it's a little bit of theory involved. We don't know for certain, but we can assume based on the way people trade, right, that there's going to be stop losses somewhere around here. So if we can kind of take out this and move up into this area, we could also continue to look for sells there. And I do like that because A, it's a larger time frame. It's a 4 hour. B, there is some engineered liquidity here. We have a fair value gap. We have all the things. So that's scenario 1 is going to be this 1 hour area right here. Start breaking down and look for sells. If we pop up above that, I do like this zone for sells as well. So that's what I'm looking at for EU coming in this week. And that's assuming, yeah, the dollar continues to be bullish. Now, if the dollar starts to break down again, then we might have to change our bias for the short term. Overall, with the OPEC stuff and what's going on with the Fed, we have no reason to believe that the dollar is going to pull back just yet, at least on a fundamental level, because they're keeping interest rates high, and they're still talking as if there are future rate hikes in the future. So let's keep that in mind as we're trading. I don't want it to, if the technical is lining up, take that trade, I don't want the fundamentals to completely influence what we're doing, but there's something that you need to keep in mind while you're trading. So, all right, yeah, so GBP USD, kind of a similar thing. We're tapping into an order block here on the weekly, kind of like we did with your euro. So there's a potential to get some relief. If we did get relief on euro, I'd be looking to this weekly order block here, which definitely lands within our 50% zone. Yep, up into premium for a sell. But let's jump down to daily. Yeah. All right, so yeah, again, this is sideways. I think we need to wait for clarity. We broke over this high. We did have a market structure shift, so we need to actually see, are we going to get a real reaction off this order block? It's actually a very nice order block, so I could see us getting some relief. Let me look at EU again. Yeah, EU, maybe we do push up into that 4 hour. GU kind of looks like it wants some relief. We'll just have to see. If we start breaking down and this order block is disrespected, then, then we know. From the 4 hour, I would love to see. I would love to see. We need to break below this. Right now, actually, on the 4 hour, this is looking a little bit more like this. Like we've got some liquidity being engineered right here. Looks like it could be something more like. Okay, let's just assume that bearish bias, right? Let's not assume too much, like we can predict the market in the sense that it's going to go for a longer relief rally. For all we know, if we're assuming bearish and we just know price is bearish, which it is, we could fill in some of this liquidity void, hidden order block, and come down, right? Which would take out any sellers that are in the market from this point, right? Anybody that got in is sell. Okay, they took this order block, or maybe they took this order block after price broke down, right? They're gonna have stop losses above here. So there's liquidity to raid right there. Let me look at like kind of a lower time frame. What kind of order blocks? Okay, really love this one on the 1 hour. Okay, really like that guy. It's kind of like your last point before. Just gonna zoom around on a few things, okay? Give me 1 second. Right, so we had this displacement to the downside, fair value gap left here. So this is gonna be the first thing I'm looking for. I wanna see this fair value gap filled in. I wanna see price come up. You could hit the bottom of this wick right here. I've been noticing definitely on higher time frames, we kind of come up to the bottom side of the body. So if I was looking at this from this perspective, yeah, we might get something like this, right? Kind of just see this whole little area right here as the order block. What I do love about the 1 hour is just how clean this area is right here. So that's going to be my assumption. I really like this as a trade idea. Yes, we have tapped into this this potentially higher time frame order block, but we are assuming bearish, and this is a great setup as far as like taking out some liquidity, filling in a fair value gap, and continuing on down. Like that to me is kind of an A+ setup. So if you take it, this is not trading. Well, this is kind of trading. This is not financial advice, okay? This is just what I'm looking at. I don't really trade GU, but I really like this setup, and honestly, it looks a little bit better than EU right now. So I might be trading that this week. We'll see. Haven't even pulled a fib on it. Fibs, like I said, fibs are kind of like a last whatever. And you know what? Look at, I love it. It lines up perfectly. We're above. It put us into premium, and it put us at the 786, which is kind of our last point, which gives us a great risk to reward. You know what I mean? So if you're taking the trade off of the 786, 30 pip stops fine. down to, even if you're just going down to 0, that's a 1 to 8, guys. That's kind of a crazy trade. We'll see. You kind of have to wait and adjust, like jump down to a 15-minute and see if you can get that little shift or some displacement during your session. So, if I wake up, it's New York session, and I see, okay, we've made it up here. Price is displaced, left a fair value gap, kind of like this right here, right? We get a similar movement. Then I'm going to take that. I'm going to look for a retrace back up into that fair value gap. We're going to take it lower for an OTE setup. Cool. Aussie dollar. What's going on? What's up, Australia? I mean, of course, bearish, right? All things kind of against the dollar bearish. This one actually looks extremely bearish, more bearish than some other pairs. Again, kind of just the liquidity being engineered here. We did get this nice reaction off the order block, so let's jump down to the 4-hour. Wow, I was not far off with this one. Look at this is an old markup. I don't trade it. It's not a pair I really try. I have traded it in the past successfully, but I've really just tried to focus in on 1 or 2 pairs the last few months and found most success by just, like right now, I'm only trading SPY and I'm only trading Euro USD. And those are the only pairs I'm really focusing on during my session. All this stuff I'm breaking down, this is just in case there's somebody out there watching this goes like, dude, I trade Aussie dollar. That's my pair. Then hopefully I can help you here. But this is a pretty good markup actually right here, right? Look at the accuracy, dude. Just kind of wicks in, dives. Now, we could just move sideways, honestly. Some of these pairs, like even EU, this just kind of looks like it's, I don't know, this could be just a larger range, you know what I mean? Same with the dollar. Like the dollar's just kind of sideways right now. Could just be part of a larger range. Wow, I got a lot of markups on this. Oh yeah, this is the old markup on DXY. All right, that in mind, let's go back to Aussie dollar. I'm gonna steal this line. We've already executed on that as far as like price coming up there. Yeah, so fair value gap, order block, probably OTE. I mean, definitely OTE. Let me see what's our daily real quick. I mean, that's kind of already fulfilled. That already filled in that fair value gap. Hit that. Okay, cool. Let's just pull this real quick. Let's go down to our 1 hour. I mean, that's kind of up there, honestly. I don't know if I see it retracing that high. I'm not saying it can't, but I think it's probably more likely that we find a lower zone. Yeah. So, for this one, honestly, I'm liking the 30-minute chart on this guy. I'd be interested in see how price reacts from here. If we can push up into here and then sell off. This one generally looks more bearish than, EU and GU kind of look like they have more room to push up. This one just kind of looks like there is room up here, but it's just such a big stretch. If we did get up there, I would look for sells, but my first area I'd be looking at is this order block coming into this fair value gap right here, or coming from this fair value gap that we have right here. So if this is our fair value gap, we got this order block right there. I'd want to see price push up into there and then sell off from there. But again, I want to see displacement from this area in my session. So it's time plus price. If we make it up there and it's like, I don't know, a session where the Aussie dollar doesn't move, where I shouldn't be expecting a move to happen, I'm not going to take the trade, right? If Euro USD comes into my zone during Asia, like I'm not going to be taking the trade during that because I know that there's not going to be the liquidity needed to give me displacement. So it's less, I'm not going to trust it. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for Aussie dollar. But again, it has to be time, right? So it has to be in a session plus price. So I want to see this price line up with either London or New York, preferably New York. If it comes up during London and sells off, I'd be looking for some kind of backside OTE play. New York, I would like to see it essentially sell off during London, retrace for New York to find another sell. Very common that's what we find. USD JPY, man, looking at this one, like this is just not great price action. Like, boom, this is coming up, and as we're moving up, look at price just getting squeezed. So there's not really much range to trade there. We'll have to just wait for clarity on that. Never got this play on USD CAD, but overall bullish on USD CAD. We'll see what's going on with oil and all that stuff. Like, I've been a bit mixed on it because it seems like oil prices could go higher, and I know the Canadian dollar is tied to that. So my expectation would be that this would be sells, but it's not really doing that. So you know, the technical is saying bull. The fundamental, I feel like, is saying is bearish. But you guys tell me if you've got insight on oil. Like, it's not something I'm super keyed in on. So if you do, like, let me know. Leave a comment, please. Let's get rid of this stuff. Cool. I mean, this is technically bullish, right? Tap back into, almost tap back into this with this order block here. So we could see a little, maybe it's a little something like this. Or we're just engineering liquidity right now, right? We could be doing that. I would still love to see this order block get hit. We don't have to. We could just tap into this guy and take off. So kind of two zones I'm looking at for this, right? I want to see us tap into this a little bit better. I want to see an actual retrace into this zone and then to see us push off from here. If we break down from here, guys, we still have this order block, this fair value gap. This liquidity just hasn't been touched, right? Or this zone. I would love to see that tap. So if we do make it down here, I'd be looking for buys. In fact, I'm going to set an alert on this right here, just to let me know. I haven't decided if I'm going to trade that. I'm really just trying to keep my pairs simple. EU, SPY. Let's go ahead and look at SPY real quick. Frustrating thing is, like, I think I had this marked up on a chart, sent it to buddies. Like, we're looking to take out this liquidity right here, and it looks like we're going to do that. Guys, just an absolutely despicable trading week. This is the pair I was really trying to trade this week. I don't think I traded EU once this week. I was really just focused in on SPY. Because SPY has been delivering like the same kind of OTE setup week in, week out, right? Market opens, there's that accumulation during pre-market, there's a manipulation, followed by distribution, right? The AMD, accumulation, manipulation, distributions, ICT's power of 3. So SPY literally just week in, week out, offering the same deliveries over and over and over again. And so let's look at somewhere I failed this week big time. There was definitely a trade where I was like, I should have pulled the trigger. Here it is. I think this one, right? What's that? The 17th? That was this past week. Yeah. So in my video that I made, when did I make this video? This would have been Monday. So I think I made the Monday video. And I think I work on Tuesday, right? So I had a big, I'm in advertising. So part of video creative, I shoot and help with the video creative team. I was driving a U-Haul, but I made a video Monday night saying, like, I want price to retrace back into this zone. This is where I'd be looking for buys. We had so many reasons for that. It was OTE, nice order block zone right there. So overnight, price retraced back into it. And in my head, you know, normally I would just pull the trigger on that. It's in my zone. Like, that's a small order block. Our risk to reward is absolutely massive, right? If we were just to do something like this, just as take an aggressive buy into there, stop loss there. Let's say we were just targeting the highs. That's a 1 to 6, y'all. That is a freaking great risk to reward. You know, it's that psychological thing where, you know, you've been burned a couple of times by just buying into a zone from a higher time frame, right? This is a 1 hour time frame. You know, you've been burned by doing that. You know, you just buy it and then it just tanks and you were wrong and you're like, So, you know, you think, all right, I'm going to get wise. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for some confirmation on a lower time frame. Oh, man. Truth is, I didn't really get it. At least I didn't get what I wanted to see. In the same way that price is, like, we understand price is fractal, right? It pushes up. It come like, how do I explain it? Market structure shift, right? Boom, pushed up beyond this market high. Okay. Into an order block and pushes up. I want to be able to zoom down on like a 5 minute and see that exact same move play out, but on a tiny time frame or a small time frame. The problem is I just didn't really get that. And I also didn't want to buy into this candle, right? So for me, it was like, cool, here we go. We tapped in, bullish reaction. And I even posted on my Instagram. Once price got here and I saw a pause, I was like, cool, I want to see price retrace and then let's go. That's what I posted. We just never got it and price just took off. I really should have just bought right here. That's really what I should have done for a couple reasons. A, it was in my zone. You can see price was coming down and then it started to slow down as it got here, right? It's not like it just barreled into this zone. It started to slow down. The other thing to notice is that we were getting oh my gosh, mind is gone. Anyways, price is moving down. Our RSI is moving up. Diversion, right? Thank you. Wow, brain, start working, please. So we're starting to get divergence there. So I mean, there's a few clues that you could look at and go, okay, I should have just bought, man, big time. Nice little doji right there off that, and that one really hurt, man. That would have been a really great trade. So sometimes, that happens. I think at this point I'm just gonna start buying into my zones. I've been making this analysis and I've been calling plays like pretty accurately. And SPY is fairly predictable to the point where there really is no excuse for me to have not taken that. That was just a mistake on my part. I don't think I won any trades this week. This is not a trade I took. This is just the thing I was seeing after the fact. So I just put it up there to see like, okay, well, what was the risk to reward? What was that? What would that have been like? This was on Wednesday. I would have taken. Yeah, this is where I lost. I think I lost this one actually. I didn't take this trade. I took this one right here. Unlock this guy right here. Right, so we had a pre-market. Boom. Price broke to the downside, broke below this low, pushed up into this order block. I took a sell here. Nice wick to the downside, and then it just kind of pushed up into this higher one right here. Let's go to a 15-minute real quick. Yeah, so it kind of just pushed up into this higher zone. And so that's my bet. That's what happens sometimes. You're going to lose those ones. In hindsight, you kind of see, okay, some engineered liquidity here and then push up into this fair value gap. But what was the other one? Man, okay, OPEX. I had no idea this was coming. Was at a wedding rehearsal. My boy's getting married today. Actually, it's Saturday. Yeah, my boy's getting married today. So excited for him. We were at a wedding rehearsal. I was talking to one of my friends. I was like, here's what I think price is going to do. Right? What time is this? 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's the morning. Okay, we were post market. So yeah, we're somewhere in here. And my expectation was that price is going to come up and pull up into one of these zones right here. Let's get back to it. Yeah, so this was my order block I wanted to see fulfilled right here. This guy. I want to see this fulfill for a sell. Obviously, it'd be invalid beyond this high. And unfortunately, here's what happened. Price, market open. And this is where, here's our accumulation. This, I was assuming, was our manipulation, right? Going to push above the pre-market highs. Displaced this low, which in hindsight, this is kind of all a range right here. Displaced again below this low. So I was looking for a sell off of this order block right here, right? This chart's getting very messy. My apologies. Let me get rid of this. We really just don't need that. Let me get rid of this also. Don't need that. At least for now. Maybe I'll put it back on later. Let's get rid of this. All right. So this is where I got jacked up this week, y'all. I just didn't know that Fed meeting was happening. That's my bad for not doing my research and knowing the events ahead of time. So I took a sell when I saw this 15-minute bearish pin bar, right? We come into this order block, price displaced. We got a fair value gap up into this. Boom. Had I known there was Fed news coming, I would not have taken this trade, right? Had I saw price moving up into, it's 8:45 and the news started at 9. As you can see, this is like crazy wick. What I want to point out, though, is that, with the options, I didn't have a stop loss set. It would have been a manual stop loss, which is exactly what it was. When I saw price pushing up into here, I literally got out of my position for a crazy loss, right? Just a big hit on my account. It's probably going to take me some time to recover on that one. And I got out literally at the top. I just saw price pushing. It was just pushing hard, and I didn't know what was going on in the Fed meeting. Apparently, it got stopped because of some protesters or something like that. So when I got out of this trade, my psychology was just crazy. I was just thinking, oh man, like I was thinking about the money lost. I was thinking about like, you just get tunnel vision. You're not thinking clearly. So where did I get out? Right at the top of this candle. What did it do? It just started tanking from there. Yeah, it pushed up one more time, gave you another opportunity, but I didn't really have the buying power to go in on more contracts here to go down at that point. So literally just huge mistakes made this week. It's one of those things where you really just have to, you have to believe in yourself, because what did it do? Like the news literally pushed it into the exact zone that I said it was going to go into the night before. Because of this happening right here, this displacement and this sell, I left this zone behind, right? Hypothetically, I should have been patient for this zone. News or no news, like this was the zone I wanted. This is what made most sense. There's liquidity above these highs being engineered during the range, so we know that there's stop losses here. This is the liquidity taken, and the sells went. That one hurt. Legit hurt. I was like, oh my gosh, like it definitely messed me up for the day. So pray for me, y'all. Pray for me. Oh my goodness, that was a rough day. But we live to fight another day, don't we? Like it's not the end of the road. It's not the end of the world. You're gonna take huge losses. There are countless stories of traders out there that have made mistakes, gotten big hits. They get back up. They dust themselves off. They find their right state of mind, and they think clearly, and they just execute. So don't let, if you were caught in that and you took a loss, I would not let that affect you. Just be mindful of the news next time, like I will be, and just execute. Like you have to, there's a tendency in trading to, I guess what I'm saying is there's a tendency in trading to take a loss, take a bad trade, and then have that affect your next trade. You need to be of the mindset that each trade is its own idea. The trade you took before, even if it was a loss, has nothing to do with the trade you're eyeing now, right? You can't pull that previous baggage into your current trading idea. That is its own idea, and assuming that it is within your rules, it's your kind of setup, and you know that it is a successful setup, you need to execute on that trade emotionlessly. You can't let the things of the past, right? Bad trades, bad setups, blah, 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 carry into the future, right? You have to build your mental capital up. And I think if you do that, you'll probably find more success in trading. So as much as this one hurt, it's, I know why it happened. I know what happened. It just is what it is. And I'm ready to execute this week if given the right setup. I also took a loss. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm telling you, this was just one of those weeks where you literally just feel like giving up. You're like, you start to question, like, what am I doing with my life? Who do I, do I really got what it takes to do this? And that's just the emotions at play, right? That's not real life. That's the internal dialogue, the internal monologue or whatever that's going on, because you've taken a few bad trades, and you have to decide, like, are a few bad trades going to affect my day? Is it going to affect my week in such a way where that was just a moment in time, right? That's not my whole life. But you start asking yourself all these dumb questions like, am I really cut out for this? Do I really have what it takes? I'm a loser, whatever, right? You could really beat yourself up if you want to. Or you could just understand, like, I'm not alone in this. Other people take these trades. Other people are taking bad trades. It happens. I think I took a loss here. Let me try and find where the bad trade happened, because I remember. Oh, right. Yeah, so I didn't take this trade. This one, I don't know. I really wanted price to retrace up into here. This is what I wanted, and I didn't get it, so I didn't take the trade. This is what I wanted. I wanted this right here. That's why I had that marked out earlier. I think I deleted it. This would have taken us up into premium for a sell. We have displacement, order block. I didn't get it. Instead, what happened is we had our pre-market range, right? Price manipulated into this order block, right? Kind of took out this high into this order block and then continued to sell off. I tried to take a, where are we at? Yeah, I don't know. This is me just not in the right state of mind. Really, I should have waited for this candle, right? This high to be taken out. I was trying to take a buy here for some reason. Literally no reason other than I just wanted to be in a trade. So I wasn't thinking clearly. I was being dumb and just like not obeying my rules. Again, guys, it literally was just one of those weeks. We all do it. We don't obey the rules sometimes when we get bit. Okay, so hypothetically, I should have, if this is where I was, I was looking to buy here, there's no reason to buy there, right? No high has been taken out. I was starting to see divergence on the RSI, which is why I was like, okay, 1, 2, 3. I was kind of like for a 3, I forget what it's called, like a 3 something move. Anyways, it wasn't until this high got taken out right here that you could have looked back at this order block. And this is one of those things where, again, SPY will deliver the same kind of setup week in, week out, day after day. It is so, I don't want to say predictable. It's pretty predictable. But here's our play. This was your reversal play. If you didn't catch that first trade, SPY gave you this one at the 786, and you could have ridden it all the way up into, check it. Here's our in-trend play right here. This was the 618 into the breaker block. Or if you're not into that lingo, right? Here's our breaker block right here. Boom. Here, let me move this right here. Because that's drawn up for a larger breaker block, but you could have just done this one off the 5 if you wanted to. I'm not big on the 5. I've been trying to stay on the 15 and 30 minute. But you could have taken that up into the order block, called it a day. If you were looking to do an in-trend play, this is what you would have done. You would have just looked at that 618. You could have taken it right off the breaker block if you wanted, or you could have done this. I think we got a high. We got price pushed up, created another high, broke down below that low, pushed back up into this order block, which is this candle right here, and then continued down. So you could have taken that trade as well. Literally multiple opportunities to be taken on SPY. Man, it was just an off week, guys. But that was last week. Okay, it's not going to be the same this week. This week, let's kind of zoom out and see what we got. I want to see this liquidity taken out. So if I can find, let me clear this out completely. In fact, cool. If we can find a retrace up into something, I do kind of like the bottom of that candle. Anyways, if we can find a retrace, I'm looking for sells. Again, I want to take out the liquidity to the left. There are stop losses below that, we're assuming. The longer play would be this right here. I don't know the likelihood of getting something like this, honestly. If we were going to push all the way up there, it's likely that I might actually look for a buy this week up into that zone. Fair value gap here. We don't really have it there. Okay, cool. I kind of like this, though. Let's just mark that out real quick. On the 1 hour time frame, we got a fair value gap, and at the top of it, we have this 1 hour order block. I'd be interested to see price push up into the bottom side of this body. We don't have to get that, but if we can kind of stay where we're at and continue to range sideways, I would like that, and I would like to see price push up into, I mean, if we can get to the 50% or premium, that would be great. Let's see if we have anything. Yeah, okay, cool. So the bottom side of that 1 hour order block, here we go. I really like this candle for sells. So this is where I'm going to look. I want to look for sells here. If we push beyond this, we start breaking up, then we might be in buy territory in the short term. Again, this is very bearish, but my first A+ setup is just going to be here for SPY. And I'm going to execute, right? I got jacked this week for not executing. So, and even if it's a loss, that's fine. Like, it's one of those things where you need to be ruthlessly executing. If it fits your model, it gives you the signals, just execute. Don't let previous trades affect your psychology. All right. What I do like about this is that this is we have a fair value gap here. We have a breaker block right here that lines up with our order block. So it's kind of multiple confluences lining up right there. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for SPY. Would be something like that. Let's see what our risk to reward is on that. If we can get the 50% of that order block, we're looking to take out that liquidity to the left. Let's see. Let me open this up, and then we'll zoom out just a little bit. Cool. Let me go ahead and draw this guy on. Cool. And I love how that lines up with the -27 right there. I do like my fib extensions, y'all. If you like those, let me know. I like them. So this is kind of what I'm looking at. That's great. 1 to 6 is absolutely amazing. Even if you just wanted to target these previous lows, assuming price, let's just say price stays there, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, like, guys, that will make you wealthy. Let's just target that low instead of the minus 27. That's a 1 to 5.7, guys. That's my initial setup on SPY, assuming we can kind of stay here. If we can start to trickle up during like a pre-market or something like that, see a little grind up in a rally, then that's going to be my first order of selling. So anyways, all right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Let's look at BTC real quick, and then I'll get out of here. We're just going to look at BTC, nothing crazy. BTC is kind of in this zone. It did look like it was going to sell off. So we're just going to have to be mindful of what is it going to do right here. If we start breaking above this, not necessarily just that high, but if we start breaking above this order block, which I have marked out right here, this guy, all right, well, we definitely have room to move up into a higher order block for another rally, likely a rally to sell, right? Likely another, we got little fair value gap right here. I like this order block. We got the 618, so it's possible we make it up there, but let's just be mindful of what's going to happen. The week doesn't close until tomorrow afternoon, I believe. So there you go. Regardless, this is still valid. This idea that I had posted a while ago, still valid. Hypothetically or technically, this is an order block as well. So, be mindful of what's going on in the market right there. I think we could still sell off. If not, we have room to press higher. So, all right, guys, that is it. King's Capital is out. Appreciate y'all. Again, run this up. Let's get people on it. Let's keep people watching it. If you watch it, please give it a like. I'm not really sure how these YouTube algorithms work, but if you like it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe, please. Get your friends to do it. Spread the word. I'll be doing this weekly, and the calls have been really great for SPY, honestly. I have friends that I text charts to, and it's like they just been on. Again, I think one of the best ones was this one this week. This guy right here. Boom, boom, market structure shift into that order block and that push up. That was a 1 to 6 or 8 or something like that. So anyways, all right, guys, appreciate y'all. Enjoy your weekend. King's Capital is out.